Hey everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, your art Sherpa, and this is part 3 of our Lechuza Fairytale that we're doing, where we meet up for a shorter amount of time every week so we can really cover in detail a specific technique or an effect or a mix, and you guys can build a much more complicated painting, even at a more beginning level, by breaking it down like this. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hey guys.
As part of our whole mission of making sure the beginners can do great paintings, he's going to track me with a bunch of cameras, zoom in, get in on the action. We even have some new stuff for our left-handed artists today that we're going to test out. So if you're here and you're left-handed, let us know if what we're going to do today is helpful, based on your suggestions that we did on the poll. So hopefully that's going to help. So definitely give us feedback. And I'm kind of ready to jump on in.
Are you?
Yes, I'm so ready to get into it. I've been missing everybody. Oh, there's my palette.
Let's go over it.
So I have some phthalo green. This is also phthalo green, phthalo blue, Indian yellow, and this particular is tint white, but you could use mixing white or zinc white. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be coming to the painting over here.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing the sparkles, and we're going to talk a little bit about how we might design those. Hi.
I lost my feet. Sorry.
We're out of practice.
I forgot how to ride my bicycle.
It's not a bike, it's a spaceship. But well, at least we didn't crash in space, right?
We haven't yet.
Having mistakes in space is terrible. Having mistakes in a live art studio, kind of entertaining. Yeah. Totally different level of jeopardy there.
Humor. Okay, sorry.
Right, you're good, right?
We're good.
We're good.
Yep.
We're good. We're not in the vacuum of space, so everything is fine.
Okay.
So what we're going to be doing is talking about some design opportunities. You know, when I first did this, I had the sparkles going up, but it occurred to me it might be nice if they came around and went into the owl to sort of lean into the story of this woman transforming into this mystical creature. So I'm really excited about that, and I'll show you like kind of how I did that. Now, initially, if you look at our reference, and John has a picture-in-picture, they're kind of coming up here and going off the canvas. And when you take something off the canvas in that way, it's like taking the viewer's eye off. So after reflecting about it a little bit on the design, I felt like for the narrative of the story, and also to keep our viewer's eye central, that it might be more interesting to come up here, go up, around, and like that, in that type of arabesque, which then creates kind of a figure eight Mobius strip of visuality, which will keep our viewers engaged on the canvas and also help inform the story that we're trying to tell a little bit better. If you're wondering what I used here, this is just the chalk you use on a chalkboard, and I like it because it erases really easily off my canvas. So we're going to start putting in the sparkles, and I'm also going to do a cool thing. I'm going to show you this product. This is Acrylic Iridescence by Holbein. It's called Chroma Pearl Blue. It is just like my favorite thing on the planet. It is hard to find. So I'm going to demo it for you because it's also not inexpensive.
Could you rotate there you go, that side.
Oop. The side?
Yeah, there you go. See, I'm trying to, there we go. I wanted them to see there. Perfect.
Yeah, it's a really special product. You could use glitter, you could do some other effects. But however, if you go into your art store, let them know this is something you'd like to see them carry. I'm not getting paid for this anyway. This is just an opinion that I have. I have a lot of strong opinions, and this is one of them. So I'm going to demo that so you can see what that's about. But I'm going to grab an artist knife and mix my very favorite Phthalo turquoise, which if you've been here a minute, you know is 1 part green, 1 part blue. So I'm going to get those together, and I'll just mix those together. And then I also have this green, and I have this Indian yellow, and that's going to let me make brighter, greener, change up those little crazy dots as they go up and away, this magical energy that we're seeing swirl around. Doesn't that seem fun?
It does seem fun. Whoop.
And I think I'm going to start with the obvious choice. I'm going to just do a round brush and see how that goes.
Okay.
So to kind of see how this is going to impact on my canvas, I know if I do just this phthalo turquoise, I'll show you, it'll just be a very dark color that you don't really see. Yeah, we're not really seeing that.
Yeah.
Kind of invisible. But if I take this little bit of transparent white, this tint white, we can start to see some of what's happening. And I'm just trying to create that radial magic. I may also put some titanium white into the mix so that I can have some distinctive lighter values that help these magical sparkles show. Oh goodness, that's just coming out of the tube today. It said, I want out. Yes, it did. And you can see that definitely really kind of raises that up. You know, when you have an effect like this in a painting, it's important to take a little bit of time and actually really paint it out.
Yeah.
Because it's going to impact what you have. Now I'm going to do maybe a little yellow, and you can see that that changes that up quite a bit. Right? Makes it warmer. And we're going to be just working these. Some of these need to be big. Some of them need to be smaller. You're going to find as you go, it's just good to change it up. I'm going to definitely bring some coming out of her little mouth space.
Nice.
Because we want to really tell the story. So you're going to want big dots, small dots, mixes of lots of little dots, mixes of very opaque or light or not as light as you go.
Now, that's one of the things that I probably am, I think is so cool, is that how you put the really dark values behind, which really give a lot of depth to it.
Well, and when you're trying to make an effect that maybe isn't something we would distinctly see in nature, you can still use nature to inform. That's a nice fancy way artists say, show me how to do something. Nature informs me. It implies that we work with it in synergy, doesn't it? How is everybody today? I've missed everyone so much.
You know what? I'm just kind of like excited to be here chatting with everybody and seeing what's all going on. So everyone's doing pretty good.
I'm just good to be here, man.
I have to say, actually, I am pretty good. I haven't even looked like it's been really fun coming back and doing a few more getting back into the chair to do the lives again. You know, we just got doing a couple of videos recorded, but live is so much more interactive.
It is, and there's so many more entertaining things that can just happen out of the blue.
Everybody missed us too.
Might make a nice big one here. How we're doing. And if I want to, I can go into the green and the yellow, and then I get kind of a really crazy color. And greens and these blues, they sort of lend themselves to that feeling of a magical effect, don't they? And then when I go over it with the Chroma Shine, you guys are going to be just like tripped out.
Yeah.
How effective that is. So my thing that I like to do, get more into the phthalo blue maybe. And you can see that's, again, a different aspect. It's a different feeling. The tint white is different. I'm going to put my vision enhancers on so that I can see what I'm doing. Always useful to make sure that you are in a comfortable painting position and you can see what you're doing and you're not cranking your neck or your back. And you'll see me going to the palette often. And that's a lot about trying to make sure that I have lots of variance. Not trying to make the same thing just again and again and again. And you'll see me even go through and sort of detail paint some of these. Now, a lot of times in my fast shows, I'll just kind of whip through this technique very quickly and maybe not work the details as much.
But here you can.
But here we can. That's the luxury of our big art quest, is we get to slow down and do things and really kind of take them to that next space. You can see me doing that. And I like it. A little bit of that as we go. I love the tinting white. So just on the toe of my brush, making little circles around and then making sure that I come back and give. You can also sort of do this twirl. It's pretty, like a little ballerina. Works pretty well. But I need a lighter value. Maybe get even a little yellow into it. So you can see I'm still painting this like I would do the owl or any other part of her. Do we have any questions? Go ahead and put those all in caps if you have questions, and the moderators will try to catch them and get them to John.
I was just waiting for a pause.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
I have a pause. I'm just going to be doing these little dots for a really long time. So we can take questions and fill our time with a couple things, because normally a YouTuber would fast forward through all of this because you got the technique.
You got the, well, the cool thing is we can see you do all the different ways of the dots. So, okay. Now, if you weren't into, say, making repeated circles over and over and over with your brush, and you wanted to speed this process up
You
a
could
little
probably use the pouncers, yes.
bit? Okay, just like, you know,
You could use the pouncers.
that might...
That would be a perfectly
Okay.
acceptable way of getting this done.
Yeah?
Why didn't I do it? Now I don't know why that it's been suggested.
I'm not saying that you couldn't say cut your plan and say I'm going to try pouncer, but
I'm all good. The reason,
actually I like these, to be honest.
yeah,
The size variance, that's the big difference, I think.
yeah, because we have 3 sizes in the pouncers, which is good. It'll get you pretty far
Yeah.
on this magic bubble effect, but you might want more.
Well, and that's, I would say that there's nothing wrong with doing pouncers if like you're time limited for sure. And
Or if this is exhausting your
Yeah.
hand. There are a lot of situations that happen. Now, John, we talked about doing some experiments for our lefties. So one of the things that we want to talk about is that I'm starting over here. I'm going to look at the camera super meaningfully. I'm going to make a video about this. But I'm starting over here on the right. Now, having talked to many of you, the strategy that most of the artists that have been painting for a while, they're utilizing is if they know the dots are going to come over here, they're going to start over from the left-hand side and work towards the right. And that will help prevent the paint drag where your hand drags through wet paint and drags it across the canvas. The other thing John's going to do, if he can, to test, experiment, is flip the picture on occasion so you can see it from the opposite angle. And remember, you can always print out this reference and flip it and do the whole painting on the reverse, just watching me in a mirror. You just project the video and watch, you put it to the mirror and then watch the mirror. But John's going to do some reverses to make it easy, just in case you don't have a wonky mirror setup.
yeah,
I don't know if he can. I totally put him on the spot.
yeah, I haven't worked on it yet for today, but I
Okay.
will see what I can do.
Sometimes you like spin me all around, and so I was like hopeful.
Yeah, so mirroring is much more tricky.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not think of it when I just spoke without talking to
Oh,
you.
no, it's okay. I mean, you know what? I just didn't memorize that spell today. Check with me tomorrow.
Uh-oh. And then at the beginning I said, we're going to help us lefties out. Oh, no. So I apologize to everybody. I
We're
said
not
that
leaving
too.
anybody out. We're not even. I'm still looking at my.
He's still looking. He's going to try to work it out.
You never.
But you can see how, like, as I'm moving, as I come across here, even though I paint, like, for my right dominant hand,
Uh-huh.
I still can drag my hand through the paint. I think that can happen to any of us. Just working all the little variants around. Just putting all the little variants around. And now I put John in a very hard cycle of thinking.
No, it's totally good. This is what I live for.
Is it?
So let's see here. I have to answer some questions, make sure that we're live, we're chatting with everyone.
And then also figure out a new way to do the video.
Oh yeah, I totally worked that out. Okay, let's see here. So if this is a good big art quest question, because I think that this comes up for a lot of artists in this,
Yeah.
and this comes from one of our deep community members.
Hi.
And, whoa, that camera just went bloop bloop. I'll come back to it in a minute.
We haven't warmed them up in a while. They get a little moody.
Oh, I know what happened. You just leaned over in it.
I did?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'll stop.
No, it's fine now. It's just it just said I don't know what to focus on.
Her hair,
Yeah.
this
okay.
painting, it's hard to know.
And for a split second, I
I'm
didn't
going
know
to
what it
step
was
back and really look at these.
doing. Okay. I'm going to step back and look at those two. That's
It's
pretty
looking
cool.
okay.
I think it's looking good.
Looking okay. It's got potential.
I had a question.
Yes.
Okay, so Elizabeth, she was
Hi,
asking,
Elizabeth.
if you're in an art funk and you're having trouble finding like any kind of creative motivation,
Mm-hmm.
do you have a process to help overcome some of that?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do to help overcome that. One of the first things is is that generally an art funk will be medium specific. Like you're just not feeling paintings at the moment or drawings, that type of creativity. But you may really enjoy a little like macrame or nail art or another creative process like doing silk flower arrangements or making a wreath. Just take yourself out of the creative space that's irking you. Because that'll happen. Sometimes like stuff happens in your life, it takes away your creative spark, or you're just tired or fatigued. There's so many things. So you just put yourself into something else and get creative there for a minute. And then as you get that kind of rumble going back, right? You can get it back. Another thing I like to do when I'm just like, man, I can't really feel a painting is maybe work on my skills. Like in art, just like in ballet, there's positions or skills. You could work on your dry brushing. You could work on your blending. You could sit there and work on how you're constructing hands. Just pick a micro skill that maybe you're struggling with and work on that a little bit. So you're still being creative, but you're not putting pressure on yourself to like create a painting that changes all the paintings everywhere. That can be a lot for your brain.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
So while you were away, I memorized a spell.
Did you? You're amazing. I really can't tell y'all how amazing John is.
So is it this one?
Maybe I could.
So which one do you want mirrored?
Just flip this.
Right now?
Yeah.
This one? Okay.
What I'm doing so they can see me doing it from that opposite. Just do that for a little bit.
That's what it would look like if you're left-handed.
Right? Well, hopefully this is helpful. Maybe this gives you a different perspective to help you feel better and more centered in what you're doing.
Presumably, keep in mind, this has the image mirrored too. Yeah. So this is just.
But that's okay to look. If you want to orient your paintings, we do this because many of us are right-hand dominant, so things are oriented from right to left. But there are entire cultures that orient from left to right. So there isn't a specific right way. There's just the way everybody's doing it. That doesn't mean that you can't make it work for you.
Yeah.
You have a right to make your painting process work for you.
So I need to put a little set of words up that says mirrored image so that people know that they're not.
Oh, can I make one? I'll make one that's like really cool.
Yeah, if you give it to me today, I'll put it on.
All right, I will. I'll make one after the show, and that's a good idea.
Okay. So for all of you who are here now, know that this is currently mirrored, and this is for the lefties to understand why you or how you would use it. So I'm going to mirror it back.
Right. And you guys let us know, how is that impacting you? Is that a helpful view? John's going to try to do that every once in a while.
You let me know when you want me to do it that way. And I'll check with
and they can let you know, too, if they need a view. And that way, when I'm doing these, like, directional strokes or those kinds of things or, you know. And I'm working on a tip video for it, too. To give you guys all the tips and stuff that I've collected for that. You know how it is. So nice. Looking good. And we still have some dots to come do here, guys. So that's why I was like, this is a bigger painting. Sometimes on an effect like this, and it's such an important effect to the painting, you want to get into the skin tones. You want to get into a more exciting part of the painting, but you might have 30 minutes of this nonsense.
Yeah.
But it'll make a difference to how the work comes out and how people receive it. It is worth your time. Notice that sometimes I'll put the focus kind of off the center on these little magical rounds. I like to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to also make sure that I've got a good bend as I'm going. And you could use different yellow, different green. You could use totally different colors. This is not at color dependent. You know, you could definitely experiment with a lot of this and get some different aspects and things going as you went. And it can be one of those things that, you know, you won't get covered on YouTube because watching someone paint a lot of little dots is not highly clickable. And I get it. I get it.
Today is Deep Schoolage Day. You're
is
here
Deep
for the
Schoolage
learning.
Day. But that's why we do Quest.
Yes, this is Quest Day.
Right? Quests are for the students.
Quests?
And there is a group. There's the Big Art Quest group where we share that. And we have a Facebook group as well. We're having an interesting time there because we're changing all the rules. That's
Rules?
always a fun time in any group. We'll be changing all the rules now. No one panic. So just going through and shading and just realize that, you know, these all have personalities, don't they?
That's looking cool.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad at all. You can see that the chalk line helps me keep the overall directionality of my dots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having that form and shape that I'm looking for. They're almost like little lollipops coming away from her.
Yeah. Little dream bubbles.
Yeah, and I might know that I want them to be multi-tonal, but when I do the digital collage, I might only, you know, have a couple blues or an effect in that one brush.
Yeah.
So I have to know, oh, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take it to this more interesting place, but it will think I'm doing this. And I will go around and, again, just keep shading these to make them even better. Because they'll look good. It's interesting. I thought she was going to be one of my most like really watched fairy tales. So it's interesting to see who has been attracted to her. She's gotten some very strange feedback. Let's do a nice big one right here. And again, if you have questions, put them in caps. Because we're dotting for a while.
We're going to be dotting for a little while. Let me move
Oh
just
my
this
goodness,
camera.
it's going to be.
Not really. We're like,
I would
we're half
never
dotted.
dot this long on the show. I would just go for the pouncers.
Go for the pound.
I would never take this dot risk.
All right, let's see here.
I would never do it, you all. I'm going to mist my paint a bit as it's drying. That's nice.
They like the left-handed view. Oh, you got away from me. See, I turned away to look at the and you just, I lose.
What I do? I'm just getting paint and coming back. I'm just getting paint and coming back.
What do you get? Your little thing stuck? Little hair?
Yeah, there's a little hair. I'm going to have to shape the brush. I may switch it out. Points are important on these kinds of techniques. So if you've bent out a hair or whatever and you've got to reshape it, and I've got one here that's just a bit long, so I will just work that out later, but I'll just grab a different brush in the meantime.
That happens.
It does. It happens quite a lot. Across all brushes, everywhere. Because they don't live in a vacuum. They live in your hand, and they... Another thing that I can do is I can, as I'm coming through here, I can reorient the piece.
Yeah.
Right? And again, if you're a lefty, you would come up here and go down. We're ready. It's okay. Whatever works for you. Just because you're new doesn't mean you don't have good instincts about what's a good position for you.
We got a lot of community members who just dropped back by to say, hello, Sherpa.
Hi.
We haven't seen you in a little while. They just swinging in to catch up, or were you on a work day? Wanted to come in, pop
Good
in.
job. Don't tell your boss you're here.
Don't. Yes, right. We will not disclose.
We're doing a lot of dots. Don't tell anyone.
Mostly.
Just watch my other videos, man.
We don't call it out anymore because we once called out
somebody
and
their boss and them were both on.
They were both watching, so it wasn't like total. They just outed each other to each other. So it wasn't.
And
like
they're friends and paint together now, so it's all fine all the way around. But
it was one of those Sherpa shenanigans. Could have gone wrong.
It could have gotten real weird. Real weird, real fast.
But in this case,
didn't, so it's all right.
We're not going to out you at work. We'll support your discreet artistic endeavors.
I mean, don't watch us while flying a plane. Definitely land and catch the replay.
Yes, Mr. Pilot or Miss Pilot, whoever you may be, who brings their art supplies into the pilot chair of their
We
airplane.
don't know. Those doors are closed now. We have no idea what they're up to in the cockpit. None. Little insight into my issues with flying.
So you, so your thought is you're going to open the cockpit door and there's going to be a couple of easels set up there on the dashboard.
Yes.
And they're going to have some art supplies
Playing
laid
Yahtzee.
out.
I don't know. They're doing stuff. I don't know what it is. There's no proof.
Right.
And you're not allowed to ask a lot of questions about what they're up to anymore.
It's
There's
true.
a limit. I think it's like 3 questions before the stewardess starts like eyeing you from one or the other sides of the plane.
Well, I'm gonna
Flight
take
attendant actually is correct terminology. I'm sorry for my dated terminology. Flight attendant.
I guess broom pilots aside, if you're piloting a broom and you can paint while brooming, more power to you.
If you're the Sanderson sisters, do what you want. Don't eat my kids.
No, I'm being saved. With
Amok.
I'm being saved with an excellent segue.
Yes?
Tell us about the soap, dear Sherpa.
You want to know about the
Eileen would
soap?
like to know.
So we have this epic soap. Of course, I don't have a tub here right now to show you. But I'm not sure we'll
It's a
find
Sherpa way. I'll find some.
They're over there. I could walk over and get them if you want to
Okay,
go
go
on
get it.
canvas.
You know where it's at better than I do.
I do.
You just disappear right off screen and nobody will even mind. They'll just hear you going rattle, rattle, rattle,
I'm
rattle.
going to just show the tub. We have bars and
Where are you?
rounds.
There you are.
So
There's
this is it. This is it. It
That's a
has
tub.
a very unique formulation. Very special formulation.
That's really cool.
Isn't that gorgeous? Smells unbelievably good. You just can't believe that that's something you would use on brushes. You would be thinking like, man, that's going to go on my hands.
It's awesome.
It is made to pull the acrylic out of your brush. Now, I want to be really clear here. Can Dawn wash your brushes? Yes, it's soap. It's a sulfacant. It will pull some paint out of your brushes. And the most important thing, more than any really specially designed soap, is that you just wash your brushes after every single use, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
That said, as a painter who painted for years, one of my big frustrations is that in spite of all my brush washing habits, paint just kept building up in my brushes and the soap wasn't getting all of it out. It wasn't really breaking down the acrylic. So when I talked to the different people that made soap, they were saying, yeah, well, this is really for oil or this is really for watercolor and it does clean acrylic. And so I was like, wait, there's nothing like just made to like break up that acrylic. And so we started doing some research. Well, I did research and told John about it all the time. And went out there and looked around and I found all these things that were known to break down acrylics, and we started testing them in soaps and came up with a formulation. And this loofah in here is like a godsend because it just pulls everything out of the ferrule. So it's for sale on the website.
Where'd you go?
If I can do it here again. Here, I'll just put it right there.
Yeah.
It's for sale on the website and we ship on Mondays.
Yep.
We ship every Monday. We're trying to get it on Prime. We're trying to get it on Amazon.
Well, no, there's some on Amazon.
There is some on Amazon, but we're trying to get in Prime, aren't we?
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit.
Yeah,
We're
trying. We're working it out. But right now it's on Amazon. It's on there. We are trying to get to Canada. We're talking with King's Art and Frame.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out how to get them some soap so you guys in Canada can get it a little bit easier.
There are.
If you want it, but again,
if you're a retailer and you're interested in our soap, you can certainly contact us, support@TheArtSherpa.com.
I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah, if that's something you want to carry, you could. And it's handmade and it's quite spectacular. And if anyone here has it, they can tell you even better than I can how much they love it. Because people that have had it and tried it are like, oh, wow, and it's a huge difference. And it needed to be done. Needed to be created. Because I have to wash my brushes more than any other art medium. As an acrylic artist, you'll be washing more than... You don't have to wash your brushes this much with watercolor. They're fine with a little rinse out. Oils, they've got solvents, so oil brushes are not under the same assault. as acrylic artists, we're under a lot more challenges with our brushes. See? Filling up the time of endless dots.
Dot, dot, dot.
I was
It's
like,
dot,
what
hop,
should
stop.
I do when I get back? I need to relax and be chill. Oh, I can put all these endless dots in. That's what I can do
Oh, there was a good
with
question.
a few hundred of my friends.
Oh, now I would like to get to a legit art question.
Okay, what? We haven't. These are all legit questions. What? Okay, what?
This is like a skills question
All right, I'm here to help with skills.
with a Z.
Skills.
Now,
Happy to help.
so you're using a rather large brush.
Yeah.
And that brush has the capability of going from kind of chunky marks to relatively detailed marks.
Yeah, it can make incredibly fine small lines and dots to quite, well spread out. That's all engineering though.
Would you lose the bubbliness, that sort of texture, if you went to using just a detailed brush?
I can show you how the difference is. I've got some here.
Do you now?
I do. So I've got a wonderful little detail brush.
I thought they locked you over there with just one brush.
No, I just get into one brush and then won't do anything else.
Now you're going to make me, so I can read. That's a number 1 Sherpa round? Is it?
Yep, it's
Okay.
a number 1 Sherpa round. And you can see what it is that I just do, I have maybe a little more opening, right?
Yeah.
In between those little areas. I can have a little more control. Positives are that I can get, maybe these little delicate lines, chunks. Negatives is the small brush and this repetitive motion will cramp out your hand.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Don't want that.
It's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Not a big deal. It's just if you know, oh yeah, that's how it's going to impact it, that's what you got to know. Now, see, here's the thing. It's like I want to have them go over the wings, but I don't want to take out all my wing detail now that I'm here.
I think I'm going to sneeze just a second.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Sneezes like 3 in a row. Okay.
Just shading these little dots out as you do. You could do this with a bright. Honestly, most things can be painted across several brushes. Your brushes are much more capable of doing things than you might think.
Doing things?
Yep.
What thing?
All the different shapes and strokes and sizes. Brushes are much more versatile than we think. Sometimes there's a feeling that there's a magic brush that will make all things easier. And certainly some brushes lend themselves to particular techniques, but the magic brush thing isn't true. You're the magic of your brush. Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda, it is you. The magic was in you all the time, Dragon Warrior. I'm loving this.
I like it.
Make a bigger one here. And you can see sometimes it gets a little messy. I'm just like working it out. Nice big one. And this will really only come together once we get also the little small complementary dots into this. So there's a lot to do to get it to look right. And sometimes it's nice to see that certain things that look so simple can be more challenging than you might know, right? And we're going to stay at this till this looks like a magical little run of awesome. If that's what we do today, that's what we do today. But these paintings are about accomplishing that painting that you don't know that you can do as a beginner. Breaking them down into smaller bits, meeting up, and enjoying the process. Hopefully. It may be just too much class, too long, I don't know. Give me feedback. Do we like it? That's the feedback. What do you guys think? Get some wine in here. It's interesting. The golden acrylic paint is a thirstier paint. It takes a heftier amount of water to thin it.
Yeah.
But I find that with Holbein and with the acrylic, which are also pro lines, much less water is necessary. And switching between the two is always fascinating because I'm like, oh, I gotta use less water here, or I use more water. Sometimes you'll just notice the differences. What you saw me doing was just getting paint kind of out of my brush. It was fighting me. How are we doing there?
Pretty good.
I'm gonna step back and give it a look. I need to microwave my coffee, I'll tell you that.
Coffee time.
It's getting there. So I'm looking, I like it. I think I love this base. I think I need some lighter dots.
Yeah.
Brighter dots going through here.
Brighter dots?
Mm-hmm. I know.
I'm with you.
I'm almost like ready to give homework. Add more dots.
Add more dots.
I'll see you next week. Do a bunch more dots.
We're only like 35 minutes in.
No, I know. It's just a lot of dots.
You've just been dotting away.
Yeah, but I think like dots in this range where it's like the phthalo blue and some dotting is maybe.
Look good.
So just breaking that up, right? Sometimes you got to be like, what have I got here? What do I need to do? How do I find this value? And I definitely want some lighter dots. But we're getting the basic structure in, and then we can go back and create some lighter dots as well coming through. All doable.
I like that blue color myself.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring that through. What we're gonna have to do.
Now these big art quest paintings generally take a lot longer than our normal.
Oh yeah, that's why we break them up into segments. We do more complicated techniques, more details, more challenges. The pieces are constructed in at the least 3 sessions, at the most. Gosh, I don't even know. I'd have to look it up. We just go until the painting is done right. It's like the mermaid. We just did her until she was done right. That's when we stop, when she's right.
Yeah.
And what that lets you guys get is some more advanced work under your belt. Lets you maybe take on, right? If I whip through something like this, I'm like, da 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 da, and I'm just not really working it, and you don't really get the whole process of it. But if I do something like this where we come through and we break it down, and hey, if today is dot day, we do dot day, you can get it. I don't know if you remember the still life. If you like this, the other really good one I did like this is the still life, where we did a traditional still life and we just broke it down into segments, 1-hour segments until it was done. Some days were just grapes. It was grape day. Everybody remember grape day?
Yeah.
Grape day was a great day. But the thing is, I have a lot of short videos that are, as short as 11 minutes for a whole lesson, for a full lesson. This is not that. And I don't know that I want it to just dead end into his little head, so I may come here and also, right? So that's looking pretty good. All right. I'm feeling like we needed some phthalo blue and some white. This is getting a little bit dry. My studio conditions are very arid.
Yeah.
Very arid. So sometimes it's good to we're going to just do some blue and white.
Start over.
No, we're just going to do some tiny, remember we were talking about we needed some lighter dots?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some lighter dots going. And then we've got to do some dotting dots. And then we've got to do some glitter dots. And then we will have created a magical effect that is quite special. Oh, I grabbed the ultramarine. When you grabbed ultramarine but think you have phthalo blue. And it's so funny, these blues look so similar coming out of the... No, that's Prussian. I have every blue but the blue I need.
Yeah?
And then I just dropped that blues cap. It's a day. Y'all feel my day? I'm having one. There it is. Whoop, there it is. We all know Phthalo when we see it, don't we? Sometimes we just need lighter values and layering. To create the drama that we need. Yeah, that's what we needed, isn't it? You see, John?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so never be afraid to look at your piece and, you know, because maybe you're teaching live and, you know, that puts pressure. There's all these things that put pressure on us as artists, like sharing things online. But never be afraid to just go back and do what your art instincts tells you your painting needs. But what if you shared it and people have seen it? If you want to change it, change it. You want to change it, change it. You need lighter blues, give lighter blues. It ain't nothing but a thing. And isn't it nice now with those values? How you guys liking it?
I think this.
As we build out her little magic space, right?
Well, Susan was asking, do bubbles have perspective?
Yeah, bubbles do.
Well, they're a sphere. So, I mean, there's the nearest part of the sphere and the
Right,
farthest part.
and a lot of that's expressed as lighting. They have atmospheric kind of perspective in their lighting. And then they would have relationship perspectives, so bubbles that were further away would be smaller and bubbles that were closer would be bigger. Everything has perspective because essentially we're lying. So perspective is our best tool for that, where we tell a story that is not really true. There is not really a girl in this little frame. We create her. I know I'm being fussy. I hope y'all don't mind today.
No, that's what you're supposed to do. Everyone's loving it.
I can't wait to see your bubbles in group. I really hope that you'll really work your little magic space out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that creates this, now we really have some dimensionality too, because this stuff comes out of her mouth and goes in front of him and then back kind of around. And I think that places him in the canvas in a very specific way as well. And again, you could use my little BAQ sponges if you wanted. What you see me doing is just trying to create design balance and shape balance through the canvas so that this element is interesting and isn't stiff and non-dynamic.
Oh, that is a good tip.
Hmm.
Patty was mentioning that you should not let your Sherpa soap, or any soap for that matter, any hard soap, stay in water.
Oh gosh, no.
Hard soaps are designed to dry out so that you you only need a very tiny amount of the chemical sulfurants in them. So that's why liquid soaps go so quickly. But so a dried out bar soap is much superior for its long lastingness. And so part of what that loofah does is help dry it out. So make sure you don't let any standing water be in there. Flip it upside down. It'll air dry. Don't keep it covered.
Yeah.
And do that with all your soaps. Let all your
hard soaps.
You know, it doesn't
Not
matter
your
what
liquid
brand.
soaps. Those are different soaps.
Yeah.
All right, so I've kind of got some dimensionality going. And then I have the fun part where I'm going to take a bit of my white here. And maybe my little palette knife, and I'll mix in some blue, as you do. You can see it's much more fluid, right? And then I'll put some still white next to it. I've got some blue. And what I'm trying to do is make sure that I have, here, I'll go do this. I think I have more of that in here. It's okay to use craft paint. It doesn't really matter the paint. And then some of it, you maybe want a little more blue in it so that, like your other bubbles, we have what? Dimensionality. With our dots, right?
Mm.
Now I've got 3 values in my never-ending dot quest. I'm going to take my 2-ended dotting tool. You could use the back of a detail brush. I'll show you the kind of comparison too. I'll do this dot, dabbing up and down.
Nope.
Right? So there's that dot.
Oh, wait, no, I missed that. Show me again.
Okay. All right, well, let me do this one here. This is a brush on reverse. What you have to do to make this work is not touch it as heavily to the canvas.
Gotcha.
Because it doesn't have the rounded surface, but you can use it, I think is my point. And the purpose of these little kind of spaces is that they create the sense of small magic.
Yeah. It gives more scale to the. Whoop.
Don't be afraid to cross into a couple of spaces. And then remember, each time you touch it, some dots will be bigger, some dots will be smaller. You could also use black light and glow paint. Make sure that, you know, some of your dots escape the field of flow. Magical transformations from one species to another, I imagine, would take energy. Right? I'd still like to point out that while, you know, the Lechuzas are nefarious beings in Latino mythology, right? Merlin did the same thing and he was a hero. So, guys versus girls, right? Guy turns into a bird. It's all good. Girl turns into a bird. Everybody freaks out. Just saying. There might be a magical double standard out there. Let's break that ceiling. This is not a serious political commentary. Please do not get in a serious debate with me. We are just being lighthearted.
Mm-hmm. We have nothing.
Even if I do strongly feel that way,
Everyone feels glowy paint is good.
Huh?
Everyone feels glowy paint is good.
Glowy paint's a good way to do it. All right, let's get another value. Isn't that wild how that goes? So yeah, I have a digital painting tool. And it can help me make a plan. It can help me work out an idea. And then I can take that tool and utilize it in my artwork. Look at that. Oh, it's looking so good. Isn't that looking cool?
Yeah.
And the values make a difference, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Now we'll have to dry it after we get to this space.
Now that's important because you can drag the dots, right?
Yeah, you can drag the dots. And I'm going to want to do this last effect, and I will need the surface to be very dry to do it.
You're just putting all the tone.
Well, so we did did first this dark tone, now we're in the middle tone, and then I might come back and add a little bit of the just white with my smallest dotting tool.
Okay, you're in the middle tone.
I'm in the middle tone.
I'm just not going back to the camera, to the palette every time. Just that way it's not like, less erratic. That way I just don't want to make sure I'm not missing you do something.
Look, for those of you lucky few that complete this painting with me and you hang it on your wall, you will absolutely have so many cool experiences from it. First of all the viewers that come in and see it are going to have about a bazillion D questions. That's what's fun in art. Someone will see that and they're like, all right, I don't need everything that's going on here. Explain this to me. It's pretty fantastic. We're world building, aren't we?
Yeah.
Just like George Lucas, just like Roddenberry, we're world building. We've taken a story and we've changed its narrative. Little sparkles are starting to go everywhere. And you can always kind of see, wait, where have I got kind of a hole going?
You're just kind of take a step back.
Yeah, because there's this thing you learn about in art school called implied line or implied texture, right? And these things all impact the line. So you've got to make sure that the line you're creating is one that you're super happy with as you're flowing along. Now you're going to see something. I'm going to be able to flip this over into my smaller dot.
Oh, you flipped over the tool.
Yes.
And to the delicate dot size.
We got the delicate dot size. Again, magical transformations take a ton of energy. And what I'm going to do here is there's going to be a quarter of little dots that soften out that line.
I think this is going to come right in at that hour line.
It is. I didn't want to tell everybody, hey, we've got an hour of dotting because I figured they would scream and click out.
There'd be a dot revolt.
Well, sometimes, we could do things where I'd be like, okay, dot everything and I'll see you tomorrow.
Ooh.
Homework. That's how we used to do it in art class. You get a demo and you just have to work it out at home on your own.
If you did not feel that this was enough.
Dots.
If like this, just like you're like, no, I got to take it up a notch. Sure.
Knock it up, man.
Could you come back and like use your star twinkle technique on some of these?
Why wouldn't we use our star twinkle? Aren't we doing that?
I didn't know. There was a question in the chat. I'm asking.
Of course we're twinkling some of these.
Okay,
what?
Well, we just want to make sure. I don't know. This is my first time here. I don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah, me either, actually. A lot of times when I start these, I just kind of feel my way through. But yeah, I think we could twinkle some stars, definitely.
I'm as along for the ride as you guys are, I promise.
But what I'll do is I will go through, dot this, and then dry this, and then we'll pick a couple spots to twinkle it up. And then once we've twinkled it up, we will chromo shine it up, and you guys can look to see if you would want to do, glitter in a glue. That's okay. Glitter and soft gel is actually what I would recommend, but like a polymer.
Yeah.
Or your glazing medium would work just fine. You could actually put the glitter into your glazing medium in much a similar way you would your gel. All right. So when I'm to here, I'm going to definitely dry this. And if I'm drying it,
I will entertain
I'm not drying
you.
it. It's not on.
Yes, it was.
I'm not plugged in. I didn't check it.
It was in Indigo. I swear I checked it.
No. Oh!
See? Okay. So that right there is what we call male wedge. Male wedge is what brings us together today. So that's from a movie from a while ago. Don't use heat when drying your surface because that will cause color shift. And that's when the color tends to lighten, and it does it more so in student paints. And that's because the different chemicals that are in acrylic respond to heat, and more so in student paints, just typically speaking. So we advise you to not use heat to help prevent that. And that's kind of what you'll hear me talk about a lot when she's drying surfaces, especially when she's drying them very slowly. Now, other things I've learned that I can talk to you about while she's drying, because I'm horrible about filling dead space. So I'm going to draw this out as long as possible, because she's going to do the same thing. Is that when when it comes drying, it's important to dry because as you come in and paint things over the top of this, which I'm sure she's going to do as soon as we're done, anytime your paintbrush touches any of those little dots or things, if they're not fully dry, they'll get inside there and they'll drag out and see that's why she's touching them. It's 'cause she wants to make sure that when she drags her
they're
brush
still
over,
like they take forever to dry.
I told you I was just so you have to make sure that the brush won't break the surface of that little paint plop and then drag the paint color with it. And that's just, there can be nothing worse than have a little, it's just this little explosion of color where you didn't anticipate it was going to be. So it takes a little longer, but you take a moment to do this and, we can be entertained with, let's see here. What would it look like if the Sherpa was drying it left-handed? That's left-hand drying Sherpa. And so and I can bring her back to normal right-hand drying Sherpa. That's what I can do while she's away.
Do it?
Right.
Okay.
All right, we're back.
Honestly, if you're doing this left, you may want to work from the left to the right-hand side, and on the left side of your ruler as you come across, I'm going to come from the right hand towards the left, working my right ruler first.
Okay.
If that makes sense. But maybe not, because my ruler doesn't want to. I have an easel issue.
you have an easel issue?
I do. I have an easel issue.
That's funny.
I just got to think, where do I want this dot? Because that's what we're really talking about, right? Where do we want these stars?
Where do you?
That's what I got to figure out. Where do I want a star?
The camera says you want it down here, and you say no. And then it says you want it up here, and you say no.
So I'm using a tool called a monogram liner.
Yeah.
And they give me a very fine line, and I'm using fluid paint. That's going to help a lot.
Oh, that was cool.
And I'm going to make these little marks as I go. And where I put those, that will be a star.
And making sure that you had dried the surface, really make sure that nothing goes wrong here.
Yeah. Helps me get through this effect without too much damage. I'm going to put one here. Make sure some of these are bigger and smaller, like their friends. And yes, this will make a gorgeous, stunning effect, for you. Now I kind of made a stroke a little too far out, so what I'm doing is I'm using my brush to sort of remove it.
Oh, I see.
Work that. I think we need another close one right here. Again, just using this and my ruler to help me get a straight line. And it'll be the overall, I'm again switching so that I have some, I think there needs to be one there, don't you guys? So there'll be like 3 right here.
Okay.
This will be probably, by the time it's all said and done, one of the most involved, resolved images that we do on the channel until we do the next one. Because every time we do this, we have to keep kicking it up a notch, don't we?
Yeah.
Kicking it up like emerald. I'm going to give it a little space on the next twinkle. Now, I feel like I kind of got a little thick with that, so I'm going to take a bright that's damp. And clean that line up. See? I sound like Bugsy, but that's what I would do. How are we doing?
Good.
Are you guys kind of tripping on your artistic skills now? Are you like, I got skills. So many art skills. Nobody knew about till today. Twinkle stars. Good twinkled stars are like a little involved journey. Which is maybe why they're so impressive. Now, because I have to cross in front of where I've been, I'm going to hit this with a hairdryer real quick again.
Okay. Let her do that. All right. So that's it shouldn't take too long, but again, making sure that you have those dry so that when you put the ruler or any sort of bridge over the surface, it doesn't pick up any of the paint, doesn't cause any of that problem. And yeah, that's there she is.
Well, what?
I was just saying you want to make sure that you keep that dry so that your bridge doesn't drag any paint.
Yeah, that's really where the issue is that your bridge can drag paint. Your roller here will be a problem in your life. Now, you'll notice also, I'm constantly doing this move. This is me wiping that ruler clean. And then after this event, I'll hit it with some rubbing alcohol to get those all off. Good times, good times.
Yeah.
Now I got to come to the middle, and I'll hit some cross stars. Little cross sparkles, just a bit smaller. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. I can freehand. That as well. To define and work out that twinkle further. The reason I don't freehand my twinkles in general is because, dude,
having them all in those very, I should say, perpendicular lines, and those very angular lines, it makes it seem more supernaturally sparkly.
It does. It just picks that up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We got to give it one more little cross sparkle.
Okay. Wrong switch. So, yep, same thing. You'll hear me talk a lot about this if you're new to the show because, well, that's what I do. I talk about hair drying. The owl needs a mondo twinkle.
Okay,
We should
put a little dot right there.
Big twinkles. Oh, that's cool. You should put a dot in the middle.
Yeah, just to imply like that celestial body is sitting there.
Now, this is a good way if you're having trouble with fine lines to be able to help.
Yeah.
Get that a little trimmed up, huh?
This will help you with your lines. This process, the monogram liner is a brush that I will never live my life without. I'm going to have monogram liners in my life from now on because they do this coolness. And I don't want to live in a world where I can't do this coolness. Again, the magic is in you, not in the brush, but sometimes the brush helps. And And this is definitely one of those helpful brushes. I'm wondering if we don't, for balance, need a star here. So that's what this is. You've got to look and be willing to be like, you know, yeah, I'm super tired. But would that one be here also help carry that idea of stars going out? And it probably would.
She does it again. Just starts hair drying.
So I may come here.
You're going to impromptu sparkle?
I just think that there would be one.
There's got to be an escaping sparkle?
There's stars coming. Yeah, because she's, yes.
Escape.
Escape. And come back to it in a minute and do something with it. But I just think that also creates a little star path.
Yeah.
That we're trying to talk about.
What's a monogram liner?
This is a monogram liner. It is a long out. In other words, its length out from the ferrule is a lot longer with a tapered point. So you're able to get, it's wonderful for signatures, like if you're trying to sign paintings, and it's wonderful for these types of lines. And if you're really good at calligraphy, it does a lot of cool stuff too. No, but I am not, so I don't ever demo that. Okay, but I'm not like, hey, let's teach a class. I'll be like, cannot do it. All right, look at that.
Yeah.
How great is that? There we go, putting those little micro dots in. We're seeing those go in, right?
Yeah. Those little dots really make it, gives you that little focus.
We haven't even done the zhuzh bit.
Focus.
With the sparkles.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because we're going to use the Chroma Shine.
Oh.
I'm going to show you guys what it does around those stars for their radial glow.
Okay. So we're going to get some radial glow. There's going to be a lot of drying here for a minute. Just because each one of these layers has to be sufficiently dry so I can see this being a
I wonder who
topic.
is just super excited at the construction of this painting.
Oh, I was.
I know
Man,
you are.
I've been
you
waiting
are
for
always
this
great about it. But I mean, like here, I bet there's a student who's like, I get it now. I will star all the things. This is the world I've been trying to create in my heart and my mind. Look at that. Right above her mouth. Isn't that nice?
That is.
And that creates the sense that the magic is just exiting right from her mouth. You're a storyteller. Never forget it. You're a world builder.
Okay.
You're an Imagineer. A creator of things magic and wondrous. And you don't have to be famous or hung in a gallery to be any of those things.
Mm-mm. I love seeing all these paintings come together. You know, one of my favorite things is to see all of your guys' work.
This is so cool. We're nearly done.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's just fun.
With the sparkles.
Yeah, we got sparkles to do.
We're almost done with the
These
sparkle.
woods are lonely, dark, and deep. I have promises to keep. We need to make one. Who's the poet? Make one about sparkles being like twink. I don't know. Spoof it. You guys are so creative.
Hey, artist, just do some art for me right now.
They do. They're so amazing.
It's like, you know, just poets can just on-demand poem. I'm sure that's actually called rhyming or something. There's probably something more elegant to the prose of poem
I think we
creation.
all have to admit that this just beats the original digital design hands down.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll pull it back up here. Check it out. There it is. There's the digital design you made. Right?
Yeah.
And then there's the one it's just like no comparison.
Worlds different.
Yeah.
Oops, my ruler.
It's not even comparable.
No, and I think that's the wonderful thing is that you can use these tools on your phone. Oh, this
Where
is
are
going to
you?
GIF really well.
Where'd you
For
go?
those of you that I have drug into the landscape of GIFing your art, this is going to GIF so well.
This painting's gonna GIF.
Oh my gosh, the spark! Oh, it's just so good. You can make little. Oh, it's so good.
So she's getting her dry on again. We've talked about that. So don't forget to check out. Oh, there.
Like an art Sherpa. I keep knocking my ruler down.
I keep gearing up to
I've
figure
got a
out what to
second
say.
ruler, so I'm just going to get into it. I feel like what is that?
It's sticky. You got sticky on there.
I
Why'd you
do.
get
But
sticky?
here's what. You never know with the kids if it's food or taffy or gummy or race. It's mystery stick. All moms everywhere know what I'm talking about. The mystery sticky things.
No.
Mystery stick.
You don't want to find that in the backseat.
Nobody in their right mind ever in the history of YouTube would do a whole twinkle sparkle class.
Yeah, no kidding.
This will never happen.
Yes, they would. We
Huh?
did.
Huh?
Of course we did. Why not? I'm sure YouTube's big. Never say never.
It's true.
It's like as soon as you say it'll never happen,
20 people do it.
Yep. Only just to prove you wrong.
Hey, you know what? I'll take it. I mean, don't paint my design and teach it like you came up with it. Well, if you want to teach twinkle stars, I support you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I keep gearing up to have things to say. Check out the link in the description down below because you'll find resources to all these kind of things that we're doing today, like painting and mixing and drawing. But those resources are available on our website.
Are they?
I think so,
Okay.
unless you didn't put the link in the description down
I
below.
think I can get this and then drop it down and be okay.
All right.
On this last one, I think I'm there.
Yeah. Twinkle.
Because I twinkled this in front of the owl, it makes sure that you don't read it as a star in the distance.
Gotcha. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
It's a foreground twinkle.
Now, sometimes do I Death Star a moon? Yes. Sometimes I Death Star a moon.
Every once
Because
in a while.
artist, and I feel like it. And I understand you can't see stars twinkling through a crescent moon. But my moon has been attacked by the Death Star, and you can.
It has a hole.
It has a hole. Its crescent is generated by blunt force trauma. But in this particular case, I don't want people to mistake them for stars.
And now you're putting in your part.
Yeah.
And then the bing little center.
Yeah. And remember, again, turn canvases, move them, make them work for you. Right? I've spent decades creating a painting process that I enjoy that works for me. And some of that was looking at my teachers and mimicking what they were doing, but some of it was also listening to what I needed in my painting experience and making it my own. And that's okay to do. Be respectful of your art teachers, but also know that sometimes you know what you need. And we knew we needed some sparkles, didn't we?
Oh, man.
So good. This piece, when it's done, when you guys start sharing this online when it's done, and I realize that may be a while from now because this has been a big project. But when you do, oh!
This has been Sparkletastic.
All right, but we still have to do the glitter and then we're done.
Well, because you can never have too much glitter. You know what I mean? I'm all about the glitter. So, glitter, glitter, glitter. Glitter, glitter. And you really do want this stuff to be dry before you put it in, because it just is the worst to have the little, have your paintbrush drag across the surface, and then that's just horrible. You don't want that. So make sure you just dry your surface. That'll be all good. And yeah. I would have thought that, I'm going to come up with something to say, and as soon as I think of something to say, she's going to be like, oh, I'm done hair drying, just to make it look like, you weren't prepared and should have some notes on something. See what I'm talking about? As soon as I get round up, she knows.
By yourself?
No,
No, they're not.
no. Oh, me? Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. They're feeling very proud. I thought you were being
So I'm
facetious
putting
talking to
out
me.
Chroma Pearl Blue. It's acrylic iridescent by Holbein. It's not readily available everywhere. Look for it online. Can't find it. Sometimes I've seen some bits on eBay for a ridiculous amount of money. The MSRP on this is don't have a heart attack. It's $40. But it'll probably be 30% off of that anywhere when it finally hits the stores because there's usually minimum assured pricing. These have gone forever for me. And if you're really stuck and it's not in budget, guess what? Because we're artists, sometimes things are not on our budget. You could take a microfine glitter like from Martha or Ranger's collection and put it in our acrylic glazing liquid and apply it that way. It will not be as
sparkly.
It will not be quite the same, but honestly, it'll be awesome and it'll be okay. If it's in budget and you can find the stuff, though, I highly recommend it.
This is definitely an artist awesome tool if you can put it in your kit.
If you can.
It goes a long way, and I must say, I was super impressed by how sparkly, shiny, and beautiful
I am not usually like, oh, a new weird, completely useless paint medium, yay! But this was like awesome, so I was like, oh, okay, this is very cool. And you're about to see why.
Okay,
I don't know what they did here. Holbein kind of does this thing with metallics that they just sort of rock at, and hopefully John can get the camera in on it.
I'm gonna get
because and I'll turn it so you guys can see it at the end, and then it's gonna give you that awe moment.
Hold on a second. Oh, don't. I'm gonna get it on there. Okay. Sorry. I'm also trying to zoom in on your palette so they can see the material there.
It's just so microfine. I've never seen anything like this, and no, it's not. It's not the kind that hurts fish. I guess. It's not the fish murdering glitter.
Okay. See now that
Some
I've
of
got
the
it really
glitters
close.
murder the fish.
Next time you go over there, I've got it nice and zoomed in for them so they can see as you mix it how that shine can be.
It's just unreal. And I'm just brushing this kind of far out so that distant dust and glow really is radiating.
Twix just disappeared again.
Twix has got her own little. She's so happy. She was at a spa while we were traveling. And it's like, she was like not that into coming home. She was like, but I got a pool. Now she thinks she's an independent dog. So I am just sort of taking that around in the distance, just so it's a big effect.
Now, what you're gonna have to do, because it really requires.
I'm gonna turn it here and see if you can see it.
Yes, you can. That's what I was waiting for. See, you can see it when you do that. It makes this amazing effect, and it's the camera when it's just looking at it in single vision doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, it's made for human eyes.
Mm-hmm.
My kids, the first time I used this product, and I think I used it on the unicorn when I took the white horse and turned him into a Christmas unicorn.
Oh yeah,
the kids were just like so in love with it, and not every color is my favorite, but the blue is definitely one of them. There's a gold too that's pretty amazing. The yellow one. And the Chroma Pearl is just fantastic. Oh, so pretty.
It really is.
It's the most magic looking thing ever. I just feel like going magic.
You have to shimmer it for me again.
Yeah, when we're done, I'll try to hold it up and like maybe we can even catch it on the.
If you just
Want me to do this thing?
Oh, I can. Yeah, you can totally see the shimmeriness. Oh yeah.
It's just like an iridescent shell or something, and I haven't ever used anything like it. I'm hoarding it. Like once it's in stores, I'll be less weird about it, and I'll probably even do a giveaway.
But you think I'm a dragon that hoards stuff? Boy,
my art supplies are a little hoarded.
You don't go near those
I don't even know
supplies.
if I gave my mom any.
I mean, like,
I might have because she's my mom and I love her, but I might not have because I hoard things.
Sherpa doesn't share with stunt hands.
I don't. I am a little art supply territorial.
They're a little.
A lot.
A lot.
I'm working on it. There's therapy.
But
Oh gosh, guys, I just really like this. This is
turned out
exactly what
really
I was
good.
envisioning.
This turned out really, really good.
I love it when what you're hoping. I'm going to step back and really look at it.
Now, this is an interesting question. Will you lose the shimmer if you varnish this?
No, not on this kind.
Because this is a microfine glitter.
This is a microfine pigment. It's not really glitter. It's It's a pigment.
It's like a mica or something.
Yeah, that they have put in here, and the binder that they use in it actually is like an iridescent. Also, it's like a one of the color shift products.
You can move it around with the brush. Oh wow! See, it just makes this beautiful stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it like when you do if you paint it thick, like what it is, and you can really see it on my finger.
Yeah.
So not like glitter. It's very cool. Feel free to aggravate your local art store about it. That's how you get it, is basically aggravate your local art store. And here's my feeling on the cost. I haven't seen the product anywhere else. I have no idea how hard the pigment is to source. And I found the company's generally pretty fair on its pricing. So if they're charging that much for it, it's probably because it's really expensive to make. But again, there's always a hack. There's always a way. And I do think Ranger makes a pretty good micro glitter. And I do think that Martha makes pretty good micro glitter. There's some good micro glitters out there. Sure Recollections does some. Put it in a glaze. It'll be a little different, but it'll still be awesome.
Now, before you go, could you grab that bottle and show it right there in front?
Mm-hmm. Right here?
Right there. No, just down here next to the...
Right here?
Perfect. I wanted to see which one it was called. It was Acrylic Iridescent Chroma Pearl Blue. So the folks were looking which one to get.
This is the one. Bug them about it. And the pigment is AC985. It's by Holbein.
All right.
Okay, sorry. Not to aggravate your local art store, but it's a cool thing and we need to get it everywhere. I certainly have bothered my art store about it quite a lot because I was like, again, I might be hoarding it like a little dragon. And you'll see me pull it out on rare occasions and then in my own personal artwork. It is just amazing because when you walk, I know. Anyways. I'm a commercial. It's just cool.
It's good stuff. We share the stuff. So, all right.
We'll go for it.
No, you're good.
I'm saving face forward. We're done.
You want to go over here? Hi, how's it going?
There we are. So what do you guys think? Oh, you can really see it there. See, it looks like they're sparkling, doesn't it?
Yeah, just that. Wait, go right there. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yep. Okay, that's so good.
Make it hard to photograph too for later, but
that's so.
That's the other reason why sometimes I don't do it is because it's so refractive that it can be challenging to get the photograph I want, but the finished piece in person is just so awesome that it's just completely worth doing. Thank you very much. We're going to meet back up Thursday and work on the next segment of our girl. This painting is probably going to be one of the prettier paintings that we do in the series. We have more in the series to do after this, but we're not stopping till she is perfect and on point and amazing and done. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. And I want to see you at an easel really soon. Bye-bye. Bye.